only one place to start. Bye bye, Jordan. Jordan, goodbye. That's a song just for you. Just for you. You're leaving Villa. You could have given us a heads up. We didn't bring you flowers. We didn't bring you chocolates. We didn't do a banner. Nikita didn't give you one of her boots. What happened?
I know. I was really close to actually sending one of my boots to Keats's changing room. I was really, really close to doing it.
That would have been so
But
good.
that would have been good. I know I should have
You
done
should
it.
have
I
done
should have
that.
done it.
But I did
Yeah.
see you walk into the changing room with no boots, so did you give them away?
Yeah, I give both of my boots away, yeah.
Jordan. Supposed to
Yeah.
give spread the love, Jordan.
I
One
should
for
have
each
yeah, I
fan.
could have
Yeah.
spreaded it, to be fair. Spreaded it?
How many
Yeah.
people have got the
You should
same
have.
size feet as you, though? That's the thing, right?
Well, I'm a size 5, and I think that's
Me too.
a decent size shoe really, isn't it, to give to people?
Yeah. It
I'm an
is.
8.5. 8.5, but I don't like to brag. Anyway. So, what? Yeah, I know.
You could fit in Rachel Daly's shoes. She wears size 8, I think, or 7 or 8.
Yeah, that's where the similarities end between mine and Rachel Daly's feet. Because she can. She's pretty good with hers. Anyway, stop swerving like a good Jordan maneuver away from what happened. You're leaving Villa.
Mhm. I am. Yeah, new chapter of the journey. Yeah, I mean, my last day, obviously, it's always still a bit emotional. It's mad, like it's been 2.5 years. Like how quick time goes that I've been at Villa 2.5 years is insane. So, but no, the last day was nice. The fans were just like amazing. Constantly shouting my name and making the day special. So yeah, it was great. And I mean, the girls there, especially like Rach, Lucy, they're like friends for life. So they always make that day extra important for you. But yeah, new chapter.
Oh, and Nikita, you arranged to score as well on the day just to make it perfect.
I pretty much set her up, honestly. Absolute man. I was like, right, here you go, kids, have it.
Thanks, Jordan.
Yeah, God.
But it was a really good day. I think your fans made it special for all of you, especially the club. It was obviously we didn't give you the god and like your team did, but that's such a lovely gesture as teammates to be able to do that. And thank you for your services as well as Causey and Dante and Maz. It's sad when you leave a team, isn't it? Because you do create bonds and you do create memories.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling. I think no matter how you're feeling, it's always a day that you're like leaving something behind, isn't it? And you create so many memories and moments. And I think especially in football, it's so short. You make the most of every minute that you have on the pitch or with the team. And I mean, people forget how much you spend time with everyone. Like you literally spend nearly every single day with these people. So like 2 years feels like 10 years sometimes. It's insane how much time you spend with them, and they become your go-to people, like on good days, bad days. You haven't really got time to ring around all your friends, all your family, and tell them everything that's going on. So yeah, it's always like that, I think.
It was a good finish for you guys at the end of the season as well. I mean, what a turnaround.
How insane. We were literally talking about relegation battles, and we finished joint six.
Yeah.
No, yes,
Yeah.
joint six. Like joint
Above
six
Liverpool
is
though, right?
just I know, it's insane. That's Villa's second best finish ever in the league. Because 2 years ago we finished fifth, and then that was the second best finish that Villa have ever done. It's
No.
so insane how quick the league can turn around.
Yeah. But you've had a really strong finish to the season. I mean,
Mm,
not just obviously was by results, but for performances. I thought you've played really well in the games that you played. And you've got some
mm.
really good young talent, to be fair.
It was like we had that, like, football look because, like we'd spoke about bloody months ago about, oh, nearly getting them 3 points, nearly getting them 3 points, and we'd actually been playing well, but it was like we coulda hit the bar 40 times, and it was just, like, not gonna happen. Whereas, especially against, like, Arsenal. It was something like 5 shots, 5 goals. You know, like the table just turned into like your favour. And then it just becomes a momentum. I mean, Keats, I'm sure you know about it, especially at Brighton. When it's going well, it's just this feeling and this vibe that just it's like, right, another win. Yeah, another win. Right, we're in top 5 now. Like, it's just that feeling.
Brighton got their best finish as well too. So for both of you, just an amazing end to the season. And Brighton had to say a fair few farewells as well, Nikita, too. Did it, when it gets to that stage, you know, when you know players are going, do you kind of want to try and do it for them too? It's like one final hurrah. I know it didn't work out.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, you want to perform and you want to, give them a good send off. But it's really tough time of the year. I mean, proud to be a teammate of theirs, and I obviously wish them all the best going forward, whatever they choose. Great group of people. Honestly, been one of the best years playing football this season with the girls because they've grown so much.
Us as players, everyone wants to know with a bit of time in advance. And I think people think that, if you tell players too early, they'll drop their standards or throw the towel in. But if anything, you have that clarity, and also you're looking for your next club, so you're never going to drop your standards. Like, you'd be mad to do that. I think you'd be mad as a player to think that every manager is going to want you. You have to always be prepared for sometimes that can happen, and players can end up having them honest conversations that say, you're just not what we're looking for.
Yeah, definitely. I can agree with you there, Jord. I think it's so hard for players to continue to perform to the highest level when there's so much indecision going on within their minds, within the club's minds. And I also think it's a difficult process for the club because you don't want to release players, but in actual fact, if you want to grow and change and, become the version of yourself that you foresee with your plans, then changes are inevitable. And it's really difficult, especially when you're a part of them changes, and it's obviously, changes have to happen for you and you have to move on. But I can definitely say it's not an easy process for both sides, and I don't think you're ever going to get it right for everyone. I think it's you always, there's half a dozen you might get it right for, half a dozen you might not. It's just like that sort of gamble. But I think the most important thing that clubs have to take into consideration is that these people are humans. You might see them as a player or a little counter on a board or a name strip, but they're actually human beings. So as long as you put that in mind, and I always say that, would you treat your daughter, your niece, like that? And if you say yeah, then it's the right decision. But if you say no, then you've got a lot of change to happen in order for that to be the right process.
Yeah, too right. And I think I've said to you both before, I don't know how you as footballers do it when you want to just do the normal stuff too, like go and get a mortgage or think about planning for a holiday, which I guess you can't always do if you've got to be going and doing a medical somewhere and trying to just doing the kind of life stuff. You can't work it out if you're thinking about, right, what's going to happen to me next week. It must be incredibly full of pressure for all of you going through that. Can we ask Jordan what you're going to do next, or when we might know what you're doing next?
Yeah, we've got things coming, but this window's like a bigger window. It's not like the Christmas one. The Christmas one's really short. But yeah, it's definitely not retirement, so that's definitely not on the cards.
Could it be somewhere
That's
where you
what
can
we
take
like
your
to
jumper off?
Yes. I'm
Somewhere
in
warmer.
Newcastle. It's not 50 degrees. It's
I'm still living off the heat of my burn from yesterday. I've tried wet lettuce or whatever it is you're supposed to put on your face, but that's not working. Yeah, don't put wet lettuces on your face. What about for you, Nikita? Because you're in like Brighton Digs, right? Do you have to? It's a bit like being a student. Do you have to pack up and move home for the summer and then come back?
No, I definitely don't. Well, I have to pack up and take some bags home because for the clothes I'm going to be wearing through the summer. But No, I don't have to pack up my whole bags. I'm gonna, leave some stuff, mainly winter clothes that I won't be using, and yeah, just come back the following season.
The other important stuff, Jordan, did you like do they give you a leaving card? Do they sign your shirt like we used to do at school? How does it work?
What, at Villa?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got flowers. To be fair, Villa made such a big thing about me being the all-time appearances. I got a shirt then. So yeah, got some nice flowers, and I mean, I wasn't expecting anything more than a nice send off, and yeah, that shirt means a lot to me, to be honest. So that was nice.
And have they removed you from the WhatsApp group?
No, not yet, but they were just sending all the pictures that were done on the last day. So yeah, I think I'll do it before they do it. They'll just
Yeah, do it.
politeness, isn't it?
Do you want to do it now? What message can we put
That
in, Keith?
awkward, like, Jordan Nobbs leaves the group.
Right, this is Pitch to Pod with Nikita, Parris and Jordan Nobbs. Hopefully going to be a very busy summer for both of you before you do go off on your summer holidays then. How would you sum up the season? I said it was a highest finish for Brighton. Villa, as you said, that like amazing run towards the end of it. How's this season gone? Chelsea champions again, Manchester United, Arsenal fighting it off. What have you made of it, Nikita? Was this a vintage WSL season?
I do think it was more competitive than previous years. Obviously Chelsea still came out victors, but and I think that's like the 6th title, which is actually crazy. But if you perform over them long period of the season and get the results. But there were still times in the season I felt like teams have competed with Chelsea, but their mentality, the winning mindset always came to fruition. And I think, it's a deserved title, first one for Sonia Bastor, so she'll be very happy. But overall, I think Arsenal and Man United will be happy with their seasons, especially Arsenal with the Champions League run also. And Man United getting Champions League, they'll be very, very happy with that. I don't think Manchester City can be happy with their season, if I'm being honest. Yeah, it was a injury hit season for them, and I think they have a lot of talent in their squad. And I think if they didn't have the injuries, they would not be in the position they ended up in. I truly believe that. I do believe they would have got a Champions League spot. But ultimately, football is that, and you just have 11, 12 players that you're heavily recruiting and then don't think about your squad depth. I think, especially being in Champions League also, I did think they would have a bigger squad. And maybe that is something that they will look towards in the summer, about increasing their squad depth. In case they do get injuries again, 2 seasons in a row, Bunny hasn't finished the season. Unbelievable talent. Still ended up top goal scorer, to be fair to her. So, she's done her business early. But yeah, they'll be very disappointed with the finish. But I mean, I don't foresee Manchester City having another season like they have this year. I definitely think they'll always continue to compete in domestic league and also the cups. And on to Brighton, I think for us, very, very, very good season. Highest finish, highest points tally. Would we want to have had a better second half? Yeah, but I've said this before, when you have a new squad and you're gelling and you have a new style of play, a new coach, it's so difficult to continue to win each and every game. And I think we definitely did our season early. In the first half of the season, we gathered them points, and we still took points in the second half, but not as much as we would want. And that's something, consistency is something which to grow on for next year.
Yeah, similar to Kate's really, but I did feel like the league was finished quite a while back with Chelsea. I think once Chelsea got that little gap, I was like, I just don't see them losing 2 or 3 games before the end of the season. So I do think that the title race was, from the feeling of how Chelsea are just absolute winners, it did seem like it was everyone fighting for the places underneath, really. But yeah, I think it's been good to see like the Liverpools, the Brightons, you know, closing that gap more from the top four. And I agree with Keats on City. I think City is such a good team with the ball, but probably if they want to go to the next level, it is their squad, because the players they have right now can compete with anyone in the league. But it's keeping them on the pitch and looking after them for certain games when they can. But yeah, Chelsea, just who is going to stop them?
I truly believe Arsenal could have closed the gap. They could have put more pressure on them if they would have won against you guys, because that would have made 3 points difference. And I think when you have a 3-point gap and you know that you can't mess up, it's such a difficult task. It's a more difficult task than knowing that, only one win will win you the league. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Arsenal definitely could have maybe put a little bit more pressure on if they would have won against you guys. But ultimately, over the 22 games, Chelsea deserved the win.
And you, Nikita, like, had they won against you too? I mean, Brighton had their role to play in this too. It's not just Villa's fault that Arsenal didn't play.
Yeah, and put the blame on
don't
Villa.
blame us.
Yeah, no. But I also think, like, mentality-wise, if Arsenal would have won that game, mindset changes. Football is such a fickle thing, honestly, it is, and how mentality can change in the course of 1 or 2 games is just, yeah, it's incredible. Especially, like, with confidence, also getting into the Champions League final, beating Lyon, and then having to come into the WSL and compete. And it's such a difficult league. It's not like any other league. Like, Barcelona can compete in, Champions League, and then it go in the league and win 9-0, and have all these changes in the squad. You can't do that in the WSL, because when you try it, like Arsenal did, they tried to make changes against Aston Villa, and the result didn't go their way. And that's just how tough the WSL is.
I don't know if can we be better, or can the league be better in trying to help teams out in Europe? And I know things have been changed around, and they do try and shift fixtures if they can, to give, like, teams a bit more space. But you're right, it is still the most competitive league, right, in Europe. So I don't know how, or do teams just have to be better? That's it. You just got to be better.
I don't think you can say teams have to be better, because I do believe the teams are better. I do think schedule-wise could really help English teams in the Champions League. I know for a fact that from the French league, from my time at Lyon, they definitely supported Lyon in the way the fixtures were, put or changed to help them progress. But at the same time, I know that the French league isn't as strong as the English league. I get it. But I still think there is ways in which we can help our teams in the Champions League.
Isn't it? Is it the men's? Have I got this wrong? The men they don't do like a March camp or an April camp or something because of the risk of injury and stuff.
Yeah,
But
the international.
but in women's football, there's a international camp then, and obviously, I think that was the camp that a lot of players came back. Was it Lauren James, Russo, Chloe Kelly? It's maybe times like that, I know it's obviously important to get them games with the national team, but where is the breather? And you've seen the men do it, where I think they missed that window out. And is that a time where maybe players can have 3 or 4 days? Because obviously in the league, it is obviously Sunday. That's probably not going to change, but it's tough. It's tough traveling Champions League away, playing, traveling back. Like, you forget about the travel back isn't a day off, it's a travel day. And then it's like, oh, you're in training, then you're game again. So it is tough. I think I agree on what Keith said. I think players try and do as much as they possibly can, and clubs do as well for recovery. But it's like, where's the best window, which is causing players to break down? And it's naturally, normally, nearer the end of the season, you would think, with not having the break over the summer.
Yeah, agree. I mean, it took me nearly 3.5 hours to get home from Chelsea, and I've been recovering all day. What when we were at Stamford Bridge? Actually, before that, did I see a picture of your feet, or at least one of your feet, Jordan? Have you managed to get your shoe back on
Today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. I hurt my ankle when we played Arsenal, and honestly, I was walking around for about half an hour, and then sat down to have some food, and I had to sit in the restaurant and take my shoes off because I was like, I can't keep my feet on. I was like, Keats, is this a thing though? Right? If you walk around shopping or anything like that, are you more tired than actually playing a football game?
Yes.
What is that?
Yeah, honestly. So the girls always laugh at me because I'll say to them, like, on days off, I cannot be bothered to go into Brighton. Even like I need to get like, I don't know, laser done or whatever. I need to pick something up from the shopping centre, whatever. Honestly, I'm only probably in there maybe an hour and a half. Honestly, I feel like I've walked the whole length and breadth of Brighton for like 5 hours once I sit down on my couch when I get in. My friend's like, "What have you been doing?" I was like, literally, I could sat on the train, walked like not even 10 minutes, got back on the train, and I'm knackered. Crazy, honestly.
Yeah. I think I'd be better putting my football boots on and jogging around the shops. Like, I actually think that would be better.
Shuttle runs down Tesco's.
Yeah. Honestly, literally.
Yeah.
There's got to be a new Insta series. We've got to get you out at the shops doing it like footballers. Amazing. But so your rest of recovery, well, you should walk around in those compression things. Can't you walk around in those?
Oh yeah, like you're on the moon.
What footballers do when they relax.
In this heat as well.
Yeah. You're not. Well, you've got a jumper on. You could take that off. Anyway, what was I saying about Stamford Bridge? That's something. There's like rumours flying around everywhere. Does this happen with footballers too? Have you all got like your individual WhatsApp groups about such and such is going here? Like when we were at the Chelsea game, I'm not saying it was about any of the players with either of the two teams, but all the whispers around everywhere about who's going where. Are they pinching that player? Are they taking? Are you all on that train as well, like we do as fans? Are you all sat there going, "Have you heard? Could this happen?"
Me? No. Honestly,
See things on Twitter, but that's about it.
Over the summer, the less I think about football, the better.
Well, that's a shame because you're going to play in a major tournament, so you're going to have to be thinking about.
Well, that's a bit different. Obviously, not every year a major tournament is, so that's a little bit different. Obviously, this year could be different, but if I've got a summer off, I've got a summer off. I'm not really thinking about football until at least 2 weeks to go before I have to go to pre-season. Yeah.
Well, fingers crossed you're at the Euros, but Jordan, what are you doing with your summer off? I mean, you could be at the Euros too. That sounds disrespectful. I take it back. But if you're not at the Euros, Jordan, what do you fancy doing in the summer?
To be fair, just to have some holidays, a few little media bits here or there. But yeah, you're the same as Keats. Like, we've been doing this a long time, and when you get that chance to take the break, you have to grab it and switch off. So yeah, switch off, but little bits of stuff going on over the summer.
Yeah, I might try and dial you both up if Nikita's got any sort of, Wi-Fi, then we can do that. When do you find out about England? Is it soon?
Not for a couple of weeks. I mean, there's also another international window, the May window, before. So
Yeah.
I guess after then, once, them games have been, Nations League games have been played, we found out. Wait and see.
Wow.
Nervous times.
Nah, it's in the bag.
Nah, doesn't fake it.
Yeah, it'll be
Don't
amazing.
know. Well, I hope so. I mean, fingers crossed. But, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. If it does, great. Can't always, football's a funny thing. Like, honestly, sometimes you think things are guaranteed and it doesn't quite happen, and sometimes you think, "Oh, it's never gonna happen," and it happens. So I've been on both sides of that coin. So yeah, as I say, if it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, then you keep on working.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, for what it's worth, if I were Serena Wiegmann, I'd be picking you both. And if I were Serena Wiegmann, we wouldn't be at the Euros. Anyway.
I was about to say, I agree with that. If you were Serena Wiegmann, we'd be in Nations League Z.
All right. I was good at Sabutio.
We're lucky you're not Serena Wiegmann.
I'll have you know, I sat with her at dinner once. I mean, when I say I sat with her at dinner, there are about 200 people in the room. But I sat with her in the same room eating dinner once, and I'm sure she overheard some of my tactics. Absolutely sure that she knew. And you won the Euros because of me. Thank you. You're right. You're welcome. Yeah, exactly that. Is this going to be a final one from me? And you're like, thank God. Is this going to be the ultimate summer? Because I think with London City coming up, with player changes, with potentially new managers, with someone like, say, Renee Slegers, who's having a first big real summer, with Dario, like there's going to be so much shifting about. And I really think that some of these clubs that we've seen maybe have a little feet up for a bit are going to be pushed into action. Are we going to see a changing of the world order, do we think, Jordan, this summer? Things are going to shift.
I mean, there'll be some big signings, yeah. I think there'll be, I mean, London City, you can imagine that will change a lot. And then, yeah, like, can you see the likes of Chloe Kelly staying at Arsenal, like big players, like making some decisions like that? Yeah, I think looking at the season, everyone is having to keep lifting their level. Wherever you finish this season, you're like, how do we make it to the next level again? So Chelsea, we've won it 6 times in a row, but they're going to be looking how to win the Champions League. How do they build their team to do that? Arsenal, they'll want to be winning the league. So yeah, I think every team will be looking for the next step and the next player to sign to build them.
Yeah, I agree. I also think Manchester United going into Champions League will have to bolster their squad. So that'll be interesting to see what signings they make, because you're going to have to in order to compete. Otherwise, you'll see a similar situation to like Manchester City that obviously went into Champions League this year, didn't bolster the squad in terms of depth and numbers, and then sadly got injuries, which kind of caused a big effect to their season. So I think each and every team, also there'll be teams in there like a West Ham who'll think, actually, if we add a little bit more quality and depth in our squad with some of the people that we've already got, we could find ourselves climbing this table very fast, because I do think they've had a good end to the season, but especially a second half of the season, and they've had some players in some good form. So yeah, I think it's going to be so interesting this summer, but also the league next year. It's going to be very competitive.